call the Delaware County Commissioners meeting to order at September 6, 2016, low after 9. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Brooks.
Good morning, I'm here.
We have a couple appointments to make. We'll start off with the Civic Center Authority Board.
I'd make a motion that Rosa Selby be placed on the Civic Center Authority Board.
Yeah, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for Rosa Selby. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. We also have a open Fair Board appointment. I do know I've gotten some phone calls and I've spoke with Charlie Walker. Charlie Walker is interested in being appointed to the Fair Board.
I'll make that motion, appoint Charlie Walker to the Fair Board.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to appoint Charlie Walker to the Fair Board. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Is that a 2-year?
It is.
I don't know who he's filling or
Yeah,
if it's a
help me with
unlimited.
I
that.
think he's filling John Wright's place.
That's correct.
Okay,
John passed away.
Yes.
thank you.
Or just 2 years for remaining.
Okay, approval of the minutes from August 15th, 2016.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Presentations to the Commissioner, Ms. Nancy Carlson.
If you take one and pass them down, I have 20, so if you take one and pass that around. Hello, I'm Nancy Carlson, the volunteer Delaware County Coordinator for all things Bicentennial. We're gearing up for the biggest event of the year, and that is the statewide torch relay, which starts this Friday down at the first state capitol, Corden, Indiana. Now, it winds around all 92 counties and comes through our county on Tuesday, September 27th, starting at 9 a.m. I'm passing around a map which I'd like to explain to you. At the top of the map, you see that the kickoff of our torch relay on our day is 9 o'clock at the fairgrounds, and that would be the #1 torch on your map. If you'd like to place your lawn chairs along the road to see the lit torch pass through our county, you can do so anywhere along our route. The route can be downloaded from the website Indiana 2016, or you can kind of get a general idea from the legend, which is in the right corner, the white corner of this map. For example, #4, if you want to see Dale Basham get the torch from Judd Fisher, take your lawn chair to Wheeling at Riverside. It's actually a liquor store. Can you picture this? Wheeling at Riverside? Okay. At the liquor store, Wheeling at Riverside, Judd Fisher, who's #3 carrier, will hand the torch to Dale Basham. And then Dale Basham hands it to Stan Sollers, so on and so forth. You get the idea? Now, the half of all of our torch bearers are on Indiana 32 East, going out of town toward Randolph County. That is our duty. We get it from Henry County, we pass it to Randolph County. So half of our torch bearers will be lined up all along 32 East, and if you drive there, you can see the mile markers marked so that the torch bearers that you're interested in will be there. All of them need your support. They're running or walking, in a couple cases riding, representing our county. And I'd be so very happy if at about 10:15, any Delaware County workers would head down to Walnut Street, take a lawn chair, and watch Alan Wilson, former mayor, pass the courthouse as he, wait a minute, is that right? No, you'll see Delynn Hardy Isom, who's a cross-country star from Muncie Central, hand the torch to Alan Wilson at the corner of Main and Walnut. Then Alan will take it downtown around to Stefan Anderson. So, here's how to exactly follow the torch. If you have a smartphone, download the free app called Indiana Torch Relay, and the torch has a GPS in it so that you can actually, from the app, see when the torch is approaching. That way you don't miss very many minutes of work. You sit there working, and then you see the torches coming, and you run down to Walnut Street to see the torch go by. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Otherwise, I'll see you on the 27th on the street somewhere.
Well, Nancy, and I do appreciate all Nancy's work, because like she says, she's unpaid, and her enthusiasm is contagious. And Nancy, we do have a breakfast. Is it 7
Yes,
to
I didn't talk about
8:45?
that. 7 to 9 is a free community breakfast, pancake breakfast, paid for by our local IHOP and Muncie Meats. And you can get a free breakfast from 7 a.m. to 9 in Heartland Hall at the fairgrounds. At 9 o'clock, though, we're going to shut the door, whether you've been served or not, because that's when we light the cauldron, which lights the torch. So go early.
So what I'm hoping is that since we are a courthouse and we're open 8:30 to 4, that everybody can go for breakfast,
Sure.
stand in line, and some of the staff, and we'll let each office holder, I would hope, decide who can be at the 9 o'clock kickoff, and then maybe come to work, the other people come to work, and then they go outside, so we can work on the logistics. But it is something that everybody would want to see. And Nancy, I know this state police, they're not going to shut any roads.
No.
It's a moving,
It's kind of like a funeral
moving.
procession, only
It is.
happy.
and they're just handing off, and it's going to be only stopped if lightning, I
It
believe.
just stops long enough to get the torch to
And
the
no one
next
can
person.
follow it, it's just.
It's not a parade.
It's not a parade, so no candy. But it's going to be very interesting and humbling to see.
And it's very likely we'll be dead when it's the 300th, so celebrate while it's the 200th.
And if we can, to go out to Parker for lunch, I
Oh,
believe
sure.
there's hot dogs out
If you
there.
happen to be at the end point where we hand the torch off, it happens to be right at the driveway of the Thompson Group, which is an insurance company, and they're going to feed lunch to anybody who's there, gratis.
Well, thank you so much.
See you on the
Nancy.
27th,
Thank
somewhere.
you.
Thank you.
Pick up any extras. I don't-
Delaware County agreed upon procedures report, Donna Vincent.
Yeah.
Good morning, my name's Donna Vinson, I'm with Hartman and Williams. We were engaged to do some agreed upon procedures relating to the treasurer's cash book and the county's bank reconcilements. I want to clarify that what we did not constitute an audit. Your audit agency is the Indiana State Board of Accounts, and absent approval from them, you are to obtain your audit through them. What we did was procedures to deal with some of the issues that had come up in your previous audits. Went back to July of 2010, at which point there were errors that began to happen within the cash book and some later errors within the auditor's fund ledger that caused you not to be in balance with the bank. You have before you, I believe, my report. In that report, we have detailed out fairly,
We don't have a
I
copy
didn't
of
get
your
one.
report.
okay, it was emailed to each of the commissioners.
They emailed it.
Would you like to go ahead and make a copy of this, and I can come back up later in the meeting? or
You
how
kind of
would
went
you-
over it with us, I believe.
Okay.
It's fine, just make sure we get a hard copy, please.
Okay, sure, we will do that. I just want to, because it's fairly lengthy and fairly involved, I think probably the best thing for me to do is just touch on the three major
Yes.
issues that were involved that caused the difficulties. And as I said, these went back clear to July of 2010. That report is broken down into three parts. The first part indicates that your cash book had a balance listed for the auditor's fund ledger, which is, of course, the county share of any monies that you have in your bank accounts. That number was incorrect and was carried as an incorrect number for actually into 2015. So that number, of course, if you've got the incorrect number for your auditor's fund ledger, you're never going to balance to the bank. So that particular entry has been presented to the treasurer's office so that they can make that on their cash book. The second area of problems had to do with that treasurer's cash book is set up so that it has 2 pages and they're to offset one another. Throughout the period of July of 2010 through the end of 2013, entries were made in that cash book that did not balance from side to side. And so, again, when you have that kind of an error, it's going to make you be out of balance with the bank. So all of those errors were identified and corrections have been presented again to the treasurer's office. The third area of problems had to do with errors that were made within the auditor's fund ledger. One being a fairly large amount. An entry was made to reverse a payment that had been made electronically for your health insurance account, and because that entry was reversed, it was an error. So the auditor's fund ledger had an error on it, as well as some other smaller errors that are detailed in the report. Those entries will need to be made on the auditor's fund ledger side, and they have been presented, and I will be meeting with both offices to make sure that we clarify how to get those entries made. Finally, we end up with an amount that represents, it's approximately $18,000 of unidentified errors that the bank and the cash book are still not in balance. A decision was made with all parties involved that to continue to look for those errors, the cost benefit would not have played out. And so our recommendation is that following the proper procedures, which I will go through with the treasurer and the auditor, an adjustment be made to the books in order to balance that to the bank. Those entries, in addition to that unidentified amount, will put your county books in balance with the bank at 12/31/2015. I did do some review of reconcilements that have occurred since that period, and on a monthly basis, your treasurer's office bookkeeping staff has been balancing their monthly transactions with the bank. So these errors that are corrected on your cash book will then also mean that you'll continue to be in balance through the current period.
Well, we thank you for your endeavors, and I know that you're very impressed with the staff that we have now in place, and we're in good hands.
They are doing a very good job, and I just want to point out that this was a very necessary thing. Absent this, you were never going to be in balance with the bank,
Right.
and that affects your bond rating, that affects your receiving federal and state grants. So those are all things that really needed to be taken care of in order to get these comments off your audit report and get your audit report back to being a clean, unqualified audit report.
We thank you for
Thank you very much.
I will make sure you get a hard copy of
And I'm
this.
sure
and
the
I apologize.
media, they would like to have some copies too.
Okay, all right.
Thank you,
Well,
Donna.
and I'll let you handle that. I'll get them to the commissioners
That's
and
fine.
the office
Patty will
holders.
give them to-
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Donna. Do we need John, do we need a motion to accept that report or anything, or?
No, you don't.
Thank you.
Okay, under contracts and agreements for approval, we have master equipment lease purchase agreement, schedule number 934-43800.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
My name is Mitch Castle. I'm the Director of Community Corrections in Delaware County. I'm trying to make an effort to purchase a couple new surveillance vehicles for our surveillance department. So this is the lease contract that I need, actually Mr. Henry's signature on.
How many vehicles do you have now?
We actually have 5. Well, we have 6 counting our van, but we have 5 surveillance vehicles, but one of them is wrecked and it's totaled, so it's not usable. I've got 2 Crown Vics that are 2003 vintage and 2 Impalas that are 08, 07 vintage. They're getting quite old and hard to maintain at this point, so we're going to try to further develop our cars. I'm going to try to be purchasing another vehicle shortly this year. It's in our budget to do that. So actually it's a 3-year lease. You buy the vehicle for $1 at the end of the lease, no matter what the mileage. So I think we were able to get a real competitive price from Dell & Ford right here in Delaware County as well.
Did you get the state purchase on these?
I'm sorry?
Did you get the state purchase on these?
Yes, we actually checked with another QPA and their prices were a little higher than Dellon's. And I think the sheriff followed suit and ended up buying an Explorer later on after we made contact with Dellon's. So I know Ray's happy with their pricing.
I know Mitch put a lot of hours into this and the board approved it as presented.
What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I did get a chance to review this particular lease and look acceptable.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve agreement 934-3800. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
I have what I think is the original here,
Okay.
Mr. Henry. If I can hand that to Patty and let you complete that after the meeting.
Yes, sir.
My financial manager, Sharon McCormick's back here. I'll have her wait
Okay.
so we can get a copy of it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Take care of that.
And this, you know, they will make the payments and insurance and all, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
Humana's up next.
Good morning, Commissioners. What you have in front of you is the annual renewal for the Humana policy that covers our retirees. I didn't give you the information on this, but we did look at 2 other companies, both of which, though, could not match the benefits or the price. Humana will go up, but it'll only go up $2 per person per month, so it's the exact same coverage for almost the same price.
And I think you said the county's going to absorb the $2.
It's not my decision, but it's fine with me.
I mean, you haven't talked to anybody.
I haven't talked to the council yet on that.
Okay.
What's your pleasure? John, have you looked at this?
I have.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we approve the contract.
Second.
A motion to approve the Humana contract and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. LPA Consulting.
Good morning, Commissioners. The first contract I'm presenting is for right-of-way services for bridge number 226. This is with Triad Associates. This contract has been reviewed by NDOT. They have found it acceptable. The not-to-exceed amount is $31,700, so our 20% share would be $6,340.
Which bridge is 226?
419 East, it's west side of the reservoir, goes over the Cardinal Greenway.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the LPA contract and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
What's the timeline on that one? When's it start?
That goes to letting, I want to say August of next year. Yeah, August of next
So
year.
the spring, if I start in the spring,
August of 17, that's when the letting will be.
August the 17th. And they'll start it that year then?
Maybe clearing, that type of thing.
Thank you.
We don't have a set schedule yet, we're still too early.
Thank you, Angie.
You're welcome.
Supplemental agreement number 2 between Delaware County Board of County Commissioners and Beam Longest and Neff LLC.
This is for the Cowan Road and 23rd Street project. We've been lucky to finally get the railroad to approve the temporary and permanent right-of-way. So Beam Longest and Neff has proposed a supplemental for some additional utility coordination that needs to be done, extra work to do with the railroad, and but one of the line items has been removed, so it's only a $100 increase. And this is a project that we share with the city of Muncie.
And they've been working on it for some time.
Yeah, so we were hoping for the utilities to start relocating this fall and winter, and go to letting maybe next February.
I make a motion to approve.
Second. Thank you.
Motion to approve the agreement and second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Contracts or agreements for approval, amendment number 3 to owner engineering agreement for professional services.
This agreement's with American Structure Point. They are proposing an increase of $17,285. The original contract is several years old, and so they have new hourly rates for inspection. And based off of our pre-construction meeting, we have a better idea of the timeline and how much effort will be needed. And shop drawing review was not included in the original contract, so this is what they're proposing. This is the Windsor Road Bridge by the reservoir.
Is that the one that's supposed to start this year?
Yes, they are going to close the road starting September 12th for construction.
September 12th.
It's an increase of $17,285, correct?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
This is our good news, correct?
This is the good news. Community Crossing Matching Grant Fund.
I just wanted to share with you, we're ecstatic at the Highway Department that we were awarded almost $1 million. So they're matching million to million. And we had 33 projects approved. 2 of them are bridge projects, which total over $600,000, and 31 roads that total about $1.3 million. So we're just so excited. It'll make a huge difference, and I just wanted to share that with everyone. And I appreciate Bob Jesse and the Highway Department engineering staff to help with this application process.
No, we appreciate
Yeah, we
you.
appreciate
Yeah, I appreciate everything you
You
guys
putting
have
together
done.
too.
But I also want to clarify that we were also told that we probably wouldn't get this grant the same as the city of Muncie was.
Mhm.
The commissioners went ahead and got with Angie and Bob. We pushed it through because you never know. And it's unfortunate for the city of Muncie that they didn't go after the same grant like we did. But our roadways for Delaware County is very important to these commissioners, and whatever we can do to fix these roads and get extra money to do it, we're going to do. And Angie, Bob, we appreciate everything that you guys have done to get this grant, because it's going to add several more miles getting repaired here in our county.
37 miles.
It's great.
Now, these are already on our projection, right? These are the ones that
They are
you're going to be starting in a couple of weeks or a month or so when you
I'll let
finish.
Bob share you with the schedule.
Yeah, Bob, why don't you step up and tell us, because I'm still getting calls and I'm telling people that we're going to be there, but it's just going to take a while.
We're kind of hoping at this point to basically get started by the 20th
Of September.
on the chip and seal for the grinding. It just depends on how everything works out, but we'll be in that neighborhood somewhere.
Yeah. And then what's the other word that you kind of use also, the bottom of your map, you got on the blue lines?
The reclaim,
Reclaiming, because when they
Yeah.
think of chip and seal, they think that we're just going to go over and keep the bumps, but you're actually taking it up,
yeah, no, we're grinding it up.
grinding it up.
Grind it up, re-roll it,
And you're putting-
seal it, and then chip and seal.
And you're putting more sticky stuff
Yes.
in it this year. It's holding up well out there, what you did last year, what they did last year, but this year you're putting more.
Yeah,
And with that new machine that kind of goes all the way across,
yeah.
yeah. So it's
Are we
really,
gonna top coat those with the new material state's using?
Possibility. You're talking about fold seal?
Yeah.
Yeah, a possibility. It depends on where our money's at.
yeah, okay.
Thanks for all your hard work. Appreciate
And
it.
also, Robert, I'd like to clarify, you're going to start at the south and come around to the north?
No, actually, we're gonna start on the west side
Okay,
and go around the north.
Okay, good. like west of 69, that
Yeah,
section?
somewhere up in that neighborhood.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
You can't have enough money to pave roads.
Right. And as long as the weather holds up, you can do it, not rain or shine, but
Thank you
snow.
guys again.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah,
work.
thanks, Angie.
All right, we'll move on to resolutions for approval. Denise, help me with these numbers. I don't have my phone.
The first one is 2016-042.
42 and 43, thank you.
Thank you. Resolution number 2016-042, resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Delaware, Indiana, identifying parcels to be offered for sale to adjacent property owners.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Janet Kessler, Tax Sale Deputy in the Auditor's Office. You have before you a resolution that identifies properties that have been in multiple tax sales, have severely delinquent taxes. We would like to offer these to adjacent property owners.
Janet, I appreciate all your work. I did notice there was 42 properties, but 2 of them are identical, so is that a typo down there at the $788.60? But
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I was out of town this weekend, and I really kind of like to drive around and look at them for some reason, I don't know. I just think it's some of our accountability. I just hate to get it on a Thursday and
We
vote on it on
can wait
Monday.
until next meeting to approve these, can't we?
Sure.
And
Give Sherry enough time to drive around and look at it.
you don't know yet how much, there's 2 owners interested. Right now, it's just adjacent.
We've identified adjacent property owners, and we're just waiting for your approval to send out letters.
Okay.
So
I'd like
you like to table this
I'd
until
like
next
to table
meeting?
it.
All right, you want to make that
Is
a
that a
motion,
motion?
Sherry?
Make a motion to
All
table
right,
it.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All right, we have a
Thank you.
motion and a second to table ordinance 216-042 until next meeting. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Resolution number 2016-043, resolution Delaware County Commissioners approving funding from the County Edit Plan, project number 5.
Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
Brad Bookout. I'm here representing today Pam Price in the ECI Regional Planning District. As you were so fortunate to attend the DC fly-in trip with the other elected officials from around the regional area, on the final morning of our trip, we had the opportunity to have breakfast with the lobbying firm Keller McIntyre and Associates, located in Washington, D.C. Keller McIntyre is very experienced in lobbying the federal government for funds for both municipal projects and nonprofit organizations. Keller McIntyre has had good success in our regional area, securing $1.2 million in assisting Indiana Wesleyan with a water sewer project, and also $900,000 for the nursing program. Gentlemen from Keller McIntyre are from the state of Indiana. they would so like to work in our area. And as part of this regional effort, you are requested an amount of $25,000 per year for a 2-year period to contract with Keller McIntyre. The other counties and cities and towns around the area are in the process also of pledging funds for this. The city of Portland, Indiana has already pledged $15,000 per year for 2 years. The city of Winchester will consider a pledge of $15,000 a year for 2 years tonight. Grant County is also considering it. Proposal was made to the mayor of the city of Newcastle last week, as was to the mayor of the city of Muncie, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So with your contribution towards this effort, we're trying to compile an amount of $90,000 per year to contract with Keller McIntyre. You would so be in a position that the county would have at their disposal a federal lobbyist to pick up the phone and call, to present projects to that you want to move forward with. And we believe it might be a good thing for the county to do this. So, and no regional municipality in this area can come up with $90,000, but if we all work together, that amount is attainable. So.
And we need to do a little history because years ago the commissioners had their own, and it was $6,000 a month, I believe it was, and that was a lot of money. And I've often wondered if we even got them. But this makes sense because we're all in this together, and we want to be central in.
That's correct. Yes.
So we appreciate your work on this.
In both Delaware County, City of Muncie, other municipalities in the regional area would have the opportunity to have at their disposal Keller McIntyre to present projects to, so that Keller McIntyre can work with both the administration, work with appropriations committees, work with Congress to get projects in front of them for both Delaware County and the entire regional area. So appreciate your support on this. I'm happy to answer any other questions or...
I think it's a good idea. Appreciate your work on that.
Thank you.
I move we adopt resolution 2016-043.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Department heads or elected officials. Nate?
Yes. Nate Jones, Delaware County Veterans Affairs Officer. The reason I'm actually here to say something today is, I don't know if you guys remember, it's been a few meetings ago, we had a guy by the name of Junior Howell that was here. It was a World War II veteran. And for the last year and a half, Jenny and myself have been working with a couple senators to try to help him with a Purple Heart Award. About 70-some years ago, to the day of September 21st, which is coming up, Junior Howell was shot and never received a Purple Heart for that. So over the last year and a half, we've been working really hard for that, and we just got notification that he got that. So the Marine Corps is going to be coming down on the 21st to present that Purple Heart to him out front here in front of the common area. And so I just wanted to make that known to you guys to at least maybe try to show up or be a part of that.
Well, what's the time? Do you have a
We're
time?
going to have it at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yep.
And
10 a.m. September 21st, and that will be the exact day he got shot 70-some years ago. Yep.
wow.
So we just wanted to kind of announce that and let you guys know that we're going to be doing that. And I think you guys have a meeting prior to that, so I'll make sure that I remind everybody then. The other thing I wanted to let everybody know about is we have the stand down coming up, the Muncie stand down, which is for homeless veterans, on the verge of homeless veterans. And we basically offer them a wide variety of services from medical, dental, housing, food, whatever it may be, to try to help out any veterans having any issues. So. And actually, I don't have the date on that with me, but I will announce that at the next meeting to make sure you guys have the dates on that.
Nate, we appreciate the work you've done there in the VA office and do the work for this gentleman and get that Purple Heart for him that he so much deserved. That's outstanding.
Thank you. And just to let you know, I mean, you have to go in front of a congressional hearing to get that done. So,
is that right?
Yeah, it's a big deal. So. Just kind of one of the things, I just think it's something, you know, being a prior military That's one of the, and not to mention, he don't know it yet, but he's also got awarded 2 Bronze Stars. But that's going to be a surprise to him. So you're talking some pretty high decorations for a World War II vet. You'll never see it ever again. So
We greatly appreciate all your hard work.
thank you.
Great news.
Jeff Arnold, Delaware County Prosecutor. Before I get started with what I came up to really say, just want to let everybody know that John Brook and his wife had their first granddaughter a couple of days ago. I think that's a wonderful thing, so I think we ought to all congratulate John.
Grandma's awful happy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Says Grandpa.
Yeah, grandpa's too.
I have information that I'm going to leave on the desk here. It is the Attorney General, 7th Annual Indiana Attorney General Prescription and Heroin Abuse Prevention Symposium. That is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Rebuilding the Hoosier Heartland. It is October the 13th and 14th at the Indiana Convention Center. Please join us at this year's 7th Annual Prescription Drug and Heroin Prevention Symposium to address what has been coined by medical experts as one of the biggest mistakes of modern medicine. Opiate addiction is a growing threat to public safety and the safety throughout the United States and accounts for the #1 cause of injury and death. Indiana has been struck hard, losing more people to drug overdose than motor vehicle accidents, while experiencing an unprecedented HIV outbreak caused by opioid abuse. In order to comprehensively combat the opiate epidemic facing our nation, we must continue collaborating and sharing effective strategies to help rebuild our Hoosier state. They have a number of national and international speakers. Then they have 28 breakout sessions through that 2-day period. And I'm attending that. I'm encouraging as many of my staff as we can cut loose to attend that. The breakout sessions are directed at a lot of community programs, prosecution, treatment, and so I would encourage anybody that has the time or the effort, and you can do that. It's $50 for both days, which includes breakfast. So it's not cost prohibitive by any means. But this is going to be a really good symposium. It will give us, I think, some pretty significant ideas on how we can help do that and attack that problem in Delaware County. What they didn't say is that Indiana also remains the #1 state in the United States for pharmacy robberies. And this is a direct result of our opioid and heroin addiction. So I'll put these up front. Feel free to grab one. If I didn't print off enough, come down to the prosecutor's office and I'll print off some more. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jim. October 13th. Sounds good.
If you register for that, you'll have to go to the website because the website explains the breakout sessions, and to register, you have to register for each breakout session. That was about 4 or 5 pages, so I didn't print it off. But if you're interested, it's on the website.
Thank you. Any other department heads?
Rick, have you found anything else out about the county employees volunteering for different offices and with the ordinance that I sent to you the other day?
I forwarded that on to John. I don't know if he's had any chance to.
I just saw it, I haven't had a chance, but
Because I'm still getting the phone calls.
Oh, I know we are too.
Rick, have you talked to any of your counterparts in any other counties, how they're?
Oh, yeah, I
dealing with
did hear
it?
from the HR director from Henry County. They do exactly the same as we're implementing here, and they had to have that.
Because I didn't realize it hurts someone that's a reserve.
Yeah, it affects a lot of people. But
And is it just something new that we've missed?
I don't think it's anything new that we missed. We just overlooked the fact that, you know, this can cause a problem. So it just depends on whether or not.
Yeah, back in.
Because I've not heard about it at any of our commissioners.
Yeah, back in 96, 97, Steve and Gary, you were both on the sheriff's department because I worked in the jail and was a county reserve at the same time, and we ended up and had to resign from the reserve department because at that point in time, we were told that we couldn't serve on the reserves because we were paid out of the same budget. And we complained about the dispatchers at that time too, saying, you know, they were also county employees like us, and we were told then that since they were paid out of a different budget than what we were, they were allowed to stay on as a county reserve, and we wasn't. So that's what I always thought, and then I got the phone calls from the email that you sent out, and please next time send the emails out to us also, so you know.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, because we had no clue, and I started getting the phone calls, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah, at that time, they said that if you was outside of the department, you could
I know it doesn't affect, yeah,
volunteer.
for anybody volunteering outside of Delaware County. If you're on a volunteer fire department, if you're doing things like that, as long as it's not actually the county entity.
Right, because we have to figure this out, because I know we do have dispatchers that are reserves. We have people from
There's really,
and
we have very few people that are caught up in this though. And I've had a lot of calls, and probably 90% of the calls I've been able to say what you're doing is not anywhere near what, you know, heaven forbid we stop volunteerism. We need everybody to volunteer, but we just have a little glitch here that we gotta fix.
Right, I just want to make sure if one department's doing it, all the departments are following in line.
Absolutely.
There are some departments that are exempt to this.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because, like I said, I'm getting asked all these questions, and I really don't have the answer yet to get back to them, so.
I'll keep working with John, and we'll.
John, there was a concern that because the Sheriff's Department reserves was 501c3, they were exempt from that.
Okay.
Could you check on that, please?
Yep. Who's in charge of reserves, and can I have a copy of the 501c? Do you have a copy of the 501c3
I
letter?
don't have it, but.
Rick Richmond is in charge of it.
Rick Richmond? Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy Dobbs.
Jeremy Dobbs is the president of the reserve.
Okay, all right.
If you check on that, that would help us too.
Yeah, that way we get all this figured out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we have monthly reports. We have a weights and measures report from July 16th to August 15th, 2016. Payment of claims in $2,082,468.12.
Move we accept.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Question or comments? Anyone else?
I'll make a motion to recess.
I'll second that.
Recess.
Thank you.